Good morning, Jaquan. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I want to go back to your decision to come back for this year. I mean, how did you kind of think through that, and were you ever close to not coming back?
Going through my decision, it was based off like what happened last year. We went 0-5, and I felt like I couldn't leave when I know that I had more to give to this program, and it was like very more personal. I didn't want to leave on an 0-5 note. I knew what type of team we were going to have when I came back, so I figured, I might as well come back and do it the right way and on a good note.
Hey, Jaquan, where do you think you can get better this season, and what did you learn from last season?
I think I could get better just capitalizing on the ball. I had some drops in the beginning of the year, and I feel like I could get better in those areas, and probably being I would say playing like more of like both safeties and things like that. I think I could be better like moving around and showing my versatility more this year. And from what I learned last year, just take it one game at a time, just watch more film and things like that throughout the week. And that's pretty much it.
Tobias Wilborn, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
All right. Thanks for the time, brother. When you look back at everything from last year, what were the things that you did enjoy about the season, and how do you play that forward?
The things I really look back and remember is just the time with my teammates in this bubble. It was like tough for all of us, of course, but just having spending time with my teammates and just being around them in tough times that we all doing it this together. That was like one of the best times. And then also winning games and going back into the locker room and just celebrating with my teammates and the coaches and things like that. That was like the best times. And then also senior night, like for the seniors that were leaving and things like that. That was a good time, just getting a win for them. It was a very important, and then leaving off on a good note for this year. So that's what was good for me.
Let's go to Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Hey, we've talked before about Jair Brown and you having some history at Lackawanna and then now with Penn State. What kind of a step forward did you see him make during his first year on campus? And cause seems like he's got a little bit of buzz going right now in spring ball and maybe turning some heads as he tries to work his way into that starting role as well.
A big leap is him knowing the playbook, him knowing like what he's doing and what other players are doing, and it allows him to play more fast. It's his second year, so now he's getting his feet under himself. So he's starting to know what he's doing, and then obviously once you know what you're doing, you get to play fast and make your plays that you're supposed to make, that you were used to making all your life. So I think it's just him getting comfortable with the system and with the staff and things like that. And then obviously he's doing very good things on the field, making turnovers, bringing energy, defense. A lot of defense players bringing very good energy to the team. So he's looking very fast, and he's one to remember.
Let's go to Joe Giuliano, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Jaquan, I want to go back to your decision to come back. Was that a decision you made like immediately after the last game, like a slam dunk, or did you sit down and maybe talk to family and say, well, these are my pros and cons?
I sat down and talked to my family, talked to my mom and things like that. But I always had in my heart, I just couldn't leave when I knew it was a little more personal for me and a little personal for some of the guys on the team. And we had FaceTime calls and things like that. We talked to each other, and every guy who said they were coming back was on our FaceTime call. So pretty much we didn't want to leave on a 0-5 note. We knew we had more to give to the team and to the fans and things like that. So, once I talked to my family, I talked to the guys, I talked to the coaches. I felt right. I felt good to come back, and I just wanted to show that I still have more on the table, and there's going to be a different player this year.
Dan Galen with Penn Law.
Hey, Jaquan, you have a new position coach in Anthony Poindexter. What's it been like working with him, and what has he kind of brought, on the practice field?
Coach Poindexter, he's brought a lot of energy, No matter if it's 4 a.m., 8 o'clock at night, he has energy, and he has a lot of knowledge. He played the safety position. So he knows what it's like to be back there. He was in our shoes once. He was a 2-time consensus All-American. So, he knows what he's talking about. So, he brings a lot of energy, a lot of juice, a lot of positivity, things like that. And, that's my guy, Coach Poindexter.
Go to T. Frank with Blue Light Illustrated.
Hey, Jaquan, we talked to Anthony Poindexter a couple weeks ago, and he talked about instincts at your position and how it's easier if a guy just kind of innately knows how to make plays on the ball and those things. Do you think that describes you? And if you could, how does film study and all those things marry in with instincts at the safety position?
I feel like instinct does describe me. Because you can't guess and have instincts. Once you watch film and once you see things in practice, or you just diagnose plays, then it just becomes easy. Once you you keep watching film and things like that, it comes instinctive. Or you done seen a couple plays before in the beginning of the game and they ran it again. So it's going to come. And I feel like that's a part of my game, because I'm not out there guessing. I'm out there going all based off what I seen on film or what I seen in practice, or maybe what they ran in the beginning of the game, because some teams, they might bust out with a 15-yard game, and then they'll come back with it in the second half or something like that. So it's just knowing what's going to come next. And that does come with film study and preparing yourself during the week. So
let's go to Audrey Snyder with The Athletic.
I'm wondering, from what you've seen in spring practices so far, or maybe on the side, on the field, whatever it may be, what does this Mike Yurcich offense look like to you from your vantage point?
Very fast. Super fast, I would say. He came in with a plan, and you could tell, he's all business. He's going to make you tired. It's a very fast-paced offense, so they're going to put a lot of points on the board this year. And, I'm excited for the offense and Coach Yurcich.
Let's go to Mark Brennan with Fight on State.
How did you find out about Coach Poindexter's history as a player? Did you know when he was hired, or did you have to do a little bit of research?
When he first came in and he introduced himself, Coach Franklin told us, when we were all like kind of in the room and things like that, he basically said, this guy was a 2-time potential All-American. Then, coach, because coach, he like was just like laid back, just trying to like get into the swing thing. But then once Coach Franklin said that, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a real deal. 2-time potential All-American, like making a lot of plays and doing a lot of good things in college football. So once Coach Franklin said that, and then obviously that's when Coach started like explaining like certain things, and I was like, oh, very impressive.
Let's go to Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Tyler Rudolph and Enzo Jennings are two guys that we in the media don't really know much about yet at Penn State. Can you kind of give us your perspective on where those guys have come as young players and maybe guys that you're going to need to count on a lot this year?
I would say Tyler Rudolph, he's making tremendous steps forward, just maturing and things like that on and off the field. I would say that he's making his plays. You could tell he's starting to get comfortable, and he's starting to look like Tyler Rudolph. He's getting his feet under him, and he's making a lot of great strides, just knowing what he's doing. And once the ball comes to him, he's making plays on the ball also, and having that swag, that energy to him. And then also with Enzo Jennings, you can tell he's learning the defense, but he's doing very well. He's in great position, and he's making his plays also. So they both are looking very good at safety. They both got good size, good height to them, and once they really get fully into it, then it's going to be a crazy year for them. So look to see them to do great things this year also.
We'll go to Dave Eckert with BWI.
Hey, Jaquan, how you doing?
I'm doing. How are you?
Good. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about that FaceTime call you mentioned there, about the guys, with all the guys who wanted to come back. Do you remember who set that up, and what else do you remember about that?
I will say, I believe I set it up, or maybe Tariq Castro-Fields, but it was just me, Tariq Castro-Field, Jahan Dawson, players like that. We were in the FaceTime call, and it might have been random, but we put each other in a group chat, and we was like FaceTime like now or something like that. And we FaceTime and we talked and things like that. And basically we just told ourselves, we're gonna come back and it's gonna be better than what we did last year. We're coming back for a reason. We got a chip on our shoulder. We're gonna bring back, the normal. We can't, we can't set the standard with how we did last year. We gotta go above and beyond. So that's basically what the conversation was about. And then we made our decision and we came back.
Let's go to T. Frank Carr with Blue White Illustrated.
Hey, Jaquan, you talked earlier about playing both safety positions. Why do you want to do that? How does that help the defense? And then secondly, with Penn State's Pro Day last week, I was wondering, with all the insane times, like, what's your last 40 time that you've been recorded for, if you want to share that with us?
Okay. Wait, can you repeat the first question?
Yeah, why do you want to play both safety positions? You talked about, learning and playing both safety positions. How does that help you? How does that help the defense? What does that do for the back end?
Well, coming in, in high school, during college, I was always a versatility guy. I always played all 6 positions. So I feel like that fits me. And, that's going to help our defense this year because that's going to move me around and have other guys either come in or however we do it. But I feel like it's going to help us help the defense, just show we have different looks, different personnels and things like that. And we're going to put guys in great positions. And, I've always been a versatility guy. I always could play field or boundary, just keep the offense guessing. And also, it's a plus for the defense, for our defense, just have like certain plays and certain things to run. And, that would make us very dangerous. And then also, speaking of the 40, last time I ran the 40, it was a 4.42. So fast. I was like 210 pounds at the time. That was my first year. That was my first time running the 40 here. So
Audrey Snyder with The Athletic.
Going back to the question about the offense earlier, throughout your career, I mean, how much stress does that put on a defense when you're going against an offense that uses so many tempos and really likes to kind of push the tempo when they can?
It's a lot of stress because when offenses go fast, defense can't sub. The linemen are tired. Especially when the ball goes from sideline to sideline. You got to get home. You got to get the call. Some teams when offenses go fast, like teams don't want to blitz. Teams don't want to do what defenses don't do what they usually want to do and things like that. So it's very tough, but it also helps us because we're used to the tempo and it's getting us like in shape for no huddle and things like that. So, it's preparing us, but it's very dangerous. Like once you go sideline to sideline, the defense don't want to be themselves. They don't want to call blitzes and certain things like that because it's tempo and they're moving fast. And, you got to get home. You got to get back to your position, to your spot. So
we got time for a few more questions. Let's go to Mark Brennan with Fight On State.
How is Kalen King look back there at cornerback?
Kalen King's looking good. He's looking fast, explosive, things like that. He's not looking like a freshman. Like he's getting comfortable. I'm glad he made it here in the spring. He's making great strides, so he's going to be good. He's going to be a good one.
Donahue, Lions 247.
Wondering across the field, safety's often concerned about that tight end position. With Pat being gone, what do you think that room looks like right now? How can they attack defenses? Brenton, Theo, Tyler, what kind of a matchup issue does Penn State maybe have at tight end?
Here it's always the next man up mentality. But I think all three of those guys are great, or very good. They're going to bring, they're all unique. They all have a very different type of skill set, but those are going to be some great players here at Penn State. I'm trying to tell you, those three tight ends, I love them. Those are my guys. Even though we compete, but it's like I feel bad for the other team because they're very dangerous, and they can move as tight ends also. So look to see them make a lot of plays this year for Penn State, and all three of them. Any tight end who comes in here are going to make plays. So look to see them make a lot of plays for Penn State.
Question for Jaquan. Tobias Wilborn, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Hey, what have you seen with Sean Clifford over the few practices that you had so far? What have you seen with him developing and competing against him?
What I have seen is a great leader who comes in day in and day out. He's probably the first one in the building all the time. But what I see from him on the field is just him growing and him making, him reading the field left and right and try to, move the safety if you can and things like that. I just see him just showing his arm off and getting comfortable in his offense. He looks comfortable in his offense. You know, it looks like he's Sean Clifford. He's making plays. He's bringing energy to the offense, and he's feeling good out there. He looks good. So that's what I had to say about Sean Clifford.